Red Flag Radio.
We see the signs.
When somebody suddenly wants to change the rules of your relationship, the question isn't, what do they want? It's, what do they already think they've lost?
Because people don't renegotiate from a position of strength. They renegotiate when they think they can sneak something past you.
And today's renegotiation comes with a plot twist so satisfying, I had to read it twice.
We found this one on Reddit. 3 years together, both 37, and he comes home one day with what he calls an idea.
An idea. Always an idea. Never, I've been thinking for months and consulting a coworker about this. Just an idea.
He pitches opening the relationship. Casual. Low stakes. He even adds the magic safety clause. We can close it again anytime you want.
The relationship equivalent of, it's just a trial. Sir, this is not a streaming service.
She's hesitant, but she agrees. She makes a dating profile. And here's where the story swerves like a drunk driver on a unicycle.
She gets 500 likes immediately.
500.
1 to 2 dates a month. Says she actually enjoys it, meets interesting people, rediscovers a part of herself.
And he, meanwhile, gets 0. 0 dates. 0 matches of substance. Not even a bot sliding into his DMs to sell him crypto.
Including, crucially, 0 interest from the younger coworker he opened the relationship to pursue. A plot twist so brutal, it deserves its own true crime podcast.
Right, because that's the part he hadn't mentioned. He didn't want an open relationship. He wanted a specific person. And he assumed the easiest path was to quietly unlock the door, walk through it, and renegotiate the lease later.
He wasn't opening a relationship. He was building an off-ramp.
6 months go by. The coworker still isn't interested. He's striking out everywhere. And then one evening, her phone is on the kitchen table, and the notifications start lighting up.
He picks up her phone, without asking, reads her messages.
And explodes.
In the explosion, and this is the part I love, he confesses everything. The coworker, the plan, the fact that he opened the relationship specifically to leave her for someone who, may I remind you, never wanted him.
He demands they close the relationship, effective immediately, tonight, as if he's issuing a cease and desist on her entire social life.
She very calmly says, "Okay. If we can't be open and we clearly can't be together, let's just break up."
And he loses it. Names, yelling, the full meltdown.
She leaves. He starts bombarding her with messages. She decides, in her words, to consider him her ex.
A beautifully clinical phrase.
Consider him my ex. Like she's filing him under a new tax category.
Okay, so, where do we start?
We start with the fact that this wasn't an open relationship. This was a sting operation he ran on himself.
That's the part that fascinates me psychologically. He didn't just want to cheat. He wanted permission to cheat, retroactively. He wanted the architecture of consent without the actual consent.
Because real consent would have required him to say, "I'm attracted to my coworker. I think I want to leave you. Can we talk about that?" And he knew the answer to that conversation.
He wasn't asking for a new relationship structure. He was asking her to pre-forgive a specific betrayal she didn't know was being planned.
That's so dark.
It is dark, but here's where I'll push back on us a little. I don't think he sat down and Machiavelli'd this out on a whiteboard. I think he half knew what he was doing and let himself not finish the thought.
Wait, actually, I'll give you that. I don't think it was a master plan. I think it was a coward's plan, which is somehow worse.
Why worse?
Because a master plan respects the other person enough to be afraid of them. A coward's plan assumes she won't notice. He genuinely thought he could open the relationship, get the coworker, transition out, and she would just sort of float along behind him, confused but compliant.
And then she got 500 likes.
And then she got 500 likes.
Which brings us to the second thing I want to talk about, the math of his rage.
Oh, the math is incredible.
He is not angry that she had dates. He is angry that the experiment produced data he didn't want. The open relationship was supposed to prove he was desirable enough to leave. Instead, it proved she was desirable enough to leave him.
It's the most accidentally honest market research a man has ever commissioned.
He ran a survey. The survey said, "You, sir, are a 4. She is a 9." And he tried to throw the survey out.
Close the relationship immediately is just delete the data.
Exactly. And note, he doesn't demand they close it when he's failing and she's succeeding for the first month, or the second, or the third. He demands it the moment he reads her messages and realizes she might actually be enjoying her life.
Because the threat was never her dating other people. The threat was her discovering she had options.
That's the line.
That's the whole episode, honestly. He didn't fear infidelity. He feared her self-esteem.
Now, I want to be fair. Going through her phone is its own separate violation. Even inside an open relationship, that's a boundary.
Huge boundary. And the fact that he felt entitled to it tells you he never really considered her a partner with her own private life. He considered her a project he was managing.
And when she offered to break up, his reaction is the tell. A person who genuinely wanted monogamy back would have said, "Yes, let's repair this." He raged because breaking up wasn't on his spreadsheet.
His spreadsheet had one outcome. He leaves her, on his timing, for someone better, looking blameless. Every other outcome is a system error.
She just blue-screened his entire master plan.
She crashed his program by having a perfectly normal Tuesday.
Okay, verdict time.
Verdict time. I'll go first. He didn't open the relationship. He rigged it. He just forgot that she had cards too, and apparently a much better hand.
My read is slightly different. I don't think the rage at the end was about her messages, or even about the coworker. I think it was about losing control of the plan. The whole scheme depended on him being the one who got to choose how this ended. The second she said, "Okay, let's break up," she took the steering wheel, and he could not handle being a passenger in his own exit strategy.
That's good. That's the whole thing.
So where are we landing on the meter?
I'm giving this an 8 out of 10. Not a 10, because he didn't get violent and he did eventually blurt out the truth, even if it was by accident, mid-tantrum.
I'd agree with 8. The ceiling is reserved for people who never confess. He confessed. Badly, but he confessed.
8 it is. And to the woman in this story, the comments, by the way, were unanimous in your favor, and so are we. You did not fail an open relationship. You passed a test you didn't know you were taking.
The takeaway for everyone listening? When someone suddenly wants to change the rules to win, take a hard look at what game they think you're playing.
Because you might be the only one who thought it was a relationship.
On that cheerful note,
That's our show. We've been Zoe and Marcus.
and this has been Red Flag Radio. Watch the flags. Trust the data.
Especially when it's 500 likes deep in the Swipe Right Olympics.
Red Flag Radio. We see the signs.